Well, hello there. This is Joanna. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Today I am sharing such a beautiful pendant with you guys. This project is super easy and the clay that I'm using is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way this thing came out, and honestly anyone can make it. This is like a beginner project, but look at this color. You can almost like look inside the pendant, and I just so love it. So let me show you how I made it. Okay, so gloves on and no alcohol ink around. That means that it's a bad nail day. So I got Cernit clay, and I've been in the translucent, and this one is Bordeaux. And when I got it, I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just I don't know, I don't like the color very much. So without giving it a try, I decided that or baking a sample, I decided that I'm just going to chop it and just create a project and see where it's going to take me. So I'm chopping the ones on the right a little bit into smaller pieces, and the ones on the left a little bit larger pieces. Really doesn't matter, guys, it really doesn't. And here I'm just adding some gold leaf and mixing it very well. And yes, life is better with a glitter in it, so I'm using champagne glitter from Michaels, adding a little bit of that. And right now it's all about making it stick together. If you have a liquid translucent clay, add that to your bundle and it's gonna go much smoother. But as you can see, it really was coming together pretty nicely for me. I don't think that I really needed any translucent clay to keep it together. Okay, it's slicing time, so let's reveal the first slice. That one is super exciting, always. And there you have it. And as I'm slicing it, I'm realizing that my background is almost the same color as the clay. So I had to take care of that. I had to switch my background to something that is gonna make it stand out a little bit more. But there you have it. I'm just gonna slice it. You can see those beautiful gold veins just in between the clay pieces. Oh, just so pretty. But I do know that this is not going to be the end result because it's translucent and it's Cernit, so it's going to change the color. And here I'm trying to smooth it out. Doesn't really work very well with the gloves on. So guess what? I didn't even realize I got the glove out, so now you have to deal with my bad nail day. But this is what I'm going to use for my pendant. And I am sure that all of you guys have seen Clayboutique creations. She is absolutely amazing. Deb is amazing. I just got this cutter from her. And she gave me that little leaf with it. Isn't that just so sweet? But I just really love the shape, and I've never really had a cutter that had the inside cut out. So this was really fun to try out, a completely different shape and style. And I really do love that you don't have to kind of aim for the middle and to get that, to cut out the inside, and the edges are nice and smooth. I totally liked it. But I'm going to show you a couple of different ways of cutting those things out. For example, right here, first of all, this cutting mat is just a craft mat from Dollar Tree, and the clay stuck to it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I completely didn't think about it because silicone just makes things come off so easy. But I really like the way the pendants are, I really like the veins that are running through the pendant, so I didn't want to move them. But if I were you, I would just pick up the pendant right now and just put it on a tile, or however you bake your pendants, and then once it's already on the tile and you're not gonna be moving it, I would pop the inside out. I think that that's really the best way. Here I'm taking it out and I'm looking at myself right now and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Seriously, why am I destroying this beautiful pendant? Of course, if you're going to take the inside out while you're holding soft clay, it's going to distort it. I mean, it's just, that's what happens. So I would definitely just put the entire thing on the tile, and then I would pick out the inside out. So here I'm using my favorite tool just to finish off the edges, and I'm moving on to my next pendant. But this time around, I decided that what I'm going to do is I will cut it out and then I'm going to throw it into the freezer. Okay, so I'm gonna freeze it and then pop it out. So I just made sure that the inside, you know, that all the cuts are made very nicely, and I just put it in the freezer. I'm thinking maybe just for 5 minutes or so. You'll see how nicely it's going to come out. And by the way, this is Crafter's Coffee Galore, actually tea with milk. That's what happens in my craft room. Yep. You get gold leaf in your tea. But there you have it. This is from the freezer, and it comes out really, really nicely. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything getting distorted. It's such a great idea. I really, really love it. If this cutter was metal, I would just bake the clay inside the cutter. But there you have it. Here are my different pieces. Of course, I created many more than I need, and using leftovers as well, and they are going in the oven. Now, do you guys dome your pieces? Because before I put it in the oven, I always create a dome with the aluminum foil so that it doesn't touch the pendants. But for some reason, if I don't do that, I get bubbles in the oven. Is that what happens to you guys? I don't even know if you're supposed to be doing that all the time or not. I do it. I always dome it and then bake it. Well, will you believe that this is right from the oven? These are still hot, but I was just so excited I had to grab the camera. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. Look how they turned out. Look at the colors. Oh, this is just absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. And here you have it with the resin on. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. This is on the left, my finished project, well, almost, and this is the clay on the right that we were using. What a transformation. I'm so in love with Cernit translucent, I can't even tell you. And the gold leaf with this clay color looks astonishing. I cannot even translate that into a picture. It looks just so gorgeous in real life, and it's so perfect for the holiday season. So I decided to do some metal work, and please, those of you guys that are doing metal wrapping, do not cringe. This is my metal work, and we already have established that I have absolutely no talent in this department, but I don't care because I have a great time adding a little bit of metal embellishments to my pendants. So there you have it. I just created a loop. That's where I'm going to have the chain go through, and I'm going to twist the bottom. Now you can use your hand to twist it. You don't need to use the pliers at all. I had a vision of creating this little loop thing on the on the pendant, and I was just going for it. I think I just called my pendant loopy. I think so. So let me continue with my vision. Now I have my loop and I have my twisted like a little neck. So I'm gonna show you guys how I envision this whole thing. And like I said, this is not my forte, but I still enjoy adding metal pieces to my pendants. So there you have it. This is how I'm going to place it, and because I was trying to think of ways to create a little holder for my pendant without really having any hard edges in the or sharp edges in the back to catch my blouse. So I kind of know that I'm going to have to bring this wire to the front, so I decided to just give it a couple of twists around that neck, and then I'm going to bring it to the front, and I'm going to add a little loop in the front. So all the sharp edges are going to be in the front rather than in the back. Now I'm going to get my round nose pliers, and I'm going to create a little loop. And there are two wires that I'm twisting at the same time, and what I really love about them is that when you're done twisting, they kind of fan out. I don't know if you know if you can see what I'm talking about. You see how they're like fan out, but they have the same shape. It looks so pretty. So this was my first pendant with the metal. Actually, my second one is going to be my favorite. So let me show you how I created that. Now with the second one, the beginning is exactly the same. I'm creating a little loop, and then I'm going to twist things around, and then I'm going to put them through the pendant in exactly the same manner as before. So you can see that my pendant, my wire wrapping is really very simple. So you can see that I have those 2 wires in the back now. And instead of going around the neck twice as I did with the other one, I'm taking 1 wire and I'm going to wrap it around one side of the pendant twice. And you can probably go for many more times if you want to add even more embellishment, but I thought that the 2 was plenty. This pendant is just so beautiful, and the gold wire just complements it so well. I believe this one is gauge 22 gold wire from Michaels. That's where I get my wires. And then I'm going to continue on the other side. I grabbed the second wire and I looped it twice on the left hand side of the pendant. So now again I have 2 wires in the back, and I want to make sure that my back is nice and smooth, it doesn't catch its blouses and sweaters. So now I'm just going to go and go around my little loop just once. So I'm going to get a nice twist around that neck and bring the wire once again to the front. I know this might be getting a little bit boring for a lot of you guys, so just fast forward through this, but I wanted you guys to see that this is like, I want to do it in real time, so you can see that it really doesn't take that long to add a little bit of metal embellishment to your pendant if you feel that, you know, the pendant needs it. Or, you know, in my case, I really don't have any gold bezels because I don't use gold very much, so this wire was really good for that. And here I'm going to once again just trim it a little bit more and grab my round nose pliers, and I'm going to do a little nice, well actually a little bit more swirly swirl than the first pendant. And actually after we were all said and done with this one, it reminds me of a rose, which is kind of interesting because I wasn't planning on creating a rose, but it just makes me think of a rose. And there you have it. There is the finished product. I'm so in love with the Cernit translucent Bordeaux. Actually, Cernit translucent, I've had such a great experiences with that clay. It's so beautiful, and it just shows you that when you're using beautiful clay, you can create beautiful pendants, because there's really nothing special about this pendant, with the exception that you're using a beautiful clay. I added a little bit of silver leaf to it, but there is nothing crazy about it. There's no crazy technique, nothing. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. I really love this color. I'm so in love with it. Let me know in the description below if you have used translucent Cernit and if you guys love it. And till next time, my friends, ta-ta!